Give me a D and a G. It's the Dawg and Gus Show. It's the Dawg and Gus Show.
Hey, Dawg, your beard's looking flickin' great, my man.
Thanks, Gus. I've been using the Bush Beard Wash.
The what now?
At Bush Beard, they know that every man with a beard is a unique beardo. And that's why they offer a wide range of products to cater to every beard's needs. Whether you have a long and luscious mane or prefer to keep it short and sharp, their products will help you achieve that perfect look.
From the nourishing beard oil and balm to the refreshing beard wash, their products are made with all-natural local ingredients to keep that beard healthy, soft, and lustrous. The beard comb and brush are designed to detangle and shape your beard, making sure you always look your best.
At Bush Beard, they're dedicated to providing the best possible grooming experience for all the beardos out there. So why settle for an average beard when you can have a glorious, well-groomed one? Try Bush Beard products today and unleash the full potential of your beard.
Be sure to use Dawg and Gus 10 and get 10% off your order.
Bush Beard, the small-town brand with the big old Canadian heart. Welcome to the Dawg and Gus Show.
Good, you?
Good, you?
What's going on?
Well, very excited about this one. I've been waiting, 2 months to have this one on?
Well, he's busy.
I know he's busy, but
Yeah.
I'm just very excited. I can still say that.
We have, who do we have here?
Trevor Finlay.
Trevor Finlay. What's going on, man? How are you? Thanks for joining us and spending a little afternoon with us here today. Yeah, it looks pretty cool behind you there. You got your lights going.
Got his logo in the back.
Everything. Yeah.
It's wearing his disco hat.
Oh, cool. Nice little setup at home. That's perfect. Of course, these days, yeah. I mean, you can do a whole podcast from a place like that, you know?
Sure can.
Yeah. Whoop. What? No, it's my office in Manotick. Yeah, so we set up a nice little space here. I get away with it. I don't know why, but we'll keep running. We'll keep running with it until
they kick us out.
Until they tell me they need the room. But yeah, no, it's exactly. Yeah. We started long ago in Staples because they had a podcast area, and then we upgraded to video about halfway through the second season. So it was just so now we have a video that goes on Spotify and YouTube, and then the regular audio goes on everywhere else. So yeah. What was your first experience with music?
So I started playing guitar before I even really knew what the role of a guitar was.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, they made the right choice.
Yeah, I think so. I can't imagine Trevor Finlay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Playing the flute.
Yeah.
Here we got Trevor Finlay on the flute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was going to say flute and clarinet are still not cool, but then again, Jethro Tull kind of made it cool, right? Sort of.
Well, and Van Halen, their father was a clarinet player, so arguments could be made. But I had no interest in polka, and I had no interest in
polka.
Yeah, in Jethro Tull, really. So.
Yeah, fair enough. That's great.
Well, I mean, Jethro Tull didn't do too bad for themselves, but
he was a good guitarist too, though.
Yeah. But he didn't play the flute all the time. And you shouldn't be dissing the flute because maybe Steve is watching this.
No, we got a cool flute player.
Flautist.
Steve is a great flautist. But that's,
Yeah,
I'm
there
just
you go.
saying, like, when you're 13.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it just at that, well, especially at that time too, right? You can't really look at it through 2024 lenses. You got to look at it through, that time,
That
like
Trevor's
a long,
not gonna
long time
mention.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Many
requires me doing
years.
math, and I was told
Maybe
there
in
would be no
between
math.
maybe in between me and Dawg, right? Like in between the two of us, I
Quite
suspect.
possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's
Jesus.
even then, I mean, I've always wanted to be a performer. So I remember doing a magic show when I was in grade 3, actually. And I remember I did this trick where I was supposed to make it like the illusion was that a rope was going to go through my neck. It was like a sleight of hand thing. And anyways, my hands were shaking or sweaty or something, and I screwed up the joke or the trick, and I left the stage, and I was just absolutely beside myself. And my teacher stopped me and said, "The show must go on." Turned me around and put me back out on stage. And I remember walking out to, I think it was like a standing ovation, but it was all parents. They were all just like proud of the fact that I went back out on stage, and I went, "Oh, yeah, I like this. This is something I could try and chase for the rest of my life." And
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and it's good that the teacher did that. Actually, it was probably a great learning lesson for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's certainly something I've kept with me through like the rest of up till now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the show must go on. Doesn't matter what you have to do to make it happen, but you end up having to make it happen. I mean,
That's right.
can look around my desk and I see all kinds of like Ricolas, like loose Ricolas kicking around, and you do what you got to do.
That's
Yep.
right. Yeah.
Now, on your page, you got a quote: "If you're not creating, you're waiting." Tell us
Yes.
what that thought is trying to put across.
Don't remember where I heard it the first time, but I just love the concept that you basically always have to try and do something. Like it's just sort of it's to kick my own ass, really, because I just want to I can very easily sit down and just watch TV, but I'm not doing anything productive when I do that. So I much prefer to spend some time trying to edit a video or mix a song or try and write something, or I just want to try and just stay productive, stay creating.
It is true. Like that just sitting in front of the television is very, very easy to do.
It is.
It is, but that's why they put them in front of a stereo instead.
Yeah.
Very good. It's good parenting. I'm telling you right now.
That's right.
I try. Right. I take my kids outside. I'm like, go outside. It's enough of this. They're still too young to grab a guitar just yet, but I think we'll get there soonish.
How young did you have to be?
Well,
Trevor, answer that. How long do you think they're 2.5? They're 2 and a bit now. How long before he waits before he puts a guitar in their hands?
I mean, I started when I was 9, so
there you go. You got a few years.
Well,
but I mean, I back in my previous life when I lived in Ottawa, I was a guitar teacher, and I think I taught people as young as 7. But 9, you start to develop the ability to actually learn and keep the information, I think.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, there's also them a guitar they can beat up on.
And, and there's also people that are. I taught teenagers that couldn't have wanted to be there less. So, it's all about the individual. I was just like one of those weird ones that I put the guitar on and it felt right. So, yeah, I've been one of those weird ones that knew what he wanted to do since I first held a guitar, I think.
Yeah, you get some kids, their parents just push them into it because that's kind of what they wanted.
Well, Sierra Levesque started when she was 3.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So she's like a prodigy. She's unreal.
Not saying you're not. These videos on Instagram too of these kids that like they're outperforming, and there was a video that made the rounds of this kid that was like playing like a blues solo or something. He had the face and he had the notes right, but it's like I just I don't Yeah, it doesn't have the gravitas.
Yes, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not enough life lessons to play the blues yet. Is
That's
what you're
right.
trying to
Yeah,
get
like
at.
talk to me after
exactly.
you've had your heart broken another 3 or 4 times.
3 to 4. Yeah,
And you start drinking bourbon.
out of a coffee cup.
This
So
is actually
who-
coffee.
I believe
It's Tim Hortons coffee on top of that.
What?
delightful.
That's one of my extravagances. Is I actually get like I'll make sure to last time I was in Ottawa, I went and bought 4 2-pound bags of whole bean Tim Hortons coffee and brought it back with me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Little taste of home.
That makes sense. I mean, we had a Timmy's today.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I had to, when I went down to Colorado to see my relatives down there, I had to bring, basically the back of my vehicle was packed full of stuff they can't get in Canada. And
Yeah.
Tim Hortons was part of it.
Ketchup chips and all
Coffee
dressed.
crisp.
Coffee crisp. Yeah. That was the big thing. I went to
Crunch.
Costco and got like a big, like, and the Border Patrol, that's the one time I get pulled over. Right. And they ripped through the back. I'm like, guys, you're going to put that back where you found it? And they're like, walked away from my vehicle. It's like all over the place. And I'm like, kidding me?
Yeah, that's
Jerks.
yeah, they're busy.
Anyway. Yeah. So I get that. You were here in August, right? August 8th, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Nice.
That's where I saw him at the Rainbow.
Yeah, of course. It was a good
played the
show. You
Rainbow.
said that's
It was a great show.
It was a good time.
Who are your musical influences?
Besides your babysitter.
Honestly, I try and take something from everything I listen to. So, like where, and I've actually had several conversations with people over the years about this because, I like when I was in Ottawa, I was like a blues and rock guy, and I love to, I did a lot of homework and learned about where it came from and learned about the artists that did it. Like I started with Stevie Ray Vaughan and then kind of worked my way backwards. And something that we have access to now is that, like the Rolling Stones were influenced by Muddy Waters and Buddy Guy and Chuck Berry and people like that. And then you get the next generation who's going to be influenced by the Rolling Stones who were influenced by blah, blah, blah. It just goes back and back and back. And then, so like since I moved to Nashville, I've developed a much healthier respect for country music. I'm still not a country guy per se, but I mean, a good song is a good song is a good song. So, I see you're wearing, is that a Waylon Jennings hat?
Sure is, yeah.
Yeah. So like I really like a lot of Waylon stuff. So the song, I don't think Hank done it this way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So that is now part of my set list, just because I think it's it's 2 chords and it's it says a lot in the song itself.
it's true.
And an
Very
argument
true.
could be made because about the instrumentation as well. I mean, when I was playing in Ottawa, I came up with 2 guitar players, a bass player, and a drummer. If I had a fiddle player, then maybe you can make an argument that I'd gone more country, or if I So, and I just, it's a country song, but I try and do it in my way, I guess, whatever way that is. So, a very long answer to your very short question, everything. I listen to everything. I try and take something from everything.
Well, I think that you made a good point of how you made it your own too. Like that's the key with even covers. I would suspect you would agree is you can play the cover, but you want to kind of have it with your own swing to it, right?
Well, there's a lot of musicians here in Nashville that play out, and they'll do exact replicas of the cover songs that they're playing, and I find that really impressive. But that is a discipline I do not have. So, like, I'd rather be an interpreter than a tribute, because like then because I'll listen to a song a few times, I'll get the gist of it, and then we'll start jamming it out, and it's not going to be exact. But I don't want it to be exact. I think it's more interesting to, add your own spin to something.
And I know it was fun at the show because you were playing, and all of a sudden I'm hearing chords. I'm like, I kind of sat back up. I'm like, no way he's playing that. And I looked at my buddy that I was there with. I'm like, he's playing. And I went, I think it was the Waylons. I'm like, he's playing Waylon Jennings.
Yeah.
And I went, okay. I was very much intrigued because I love Waylon. So
Yeah.
not as much as this guy, but it was just like, it was so much fun to see that, like, and to hear it like during your set, right? It was just kind of, well, that's cool.
And I think we put a bit of the Who in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
That's cool.
Sort of a bastardized version of Won't Get Fooled Again and Bob O'Reilly. Like there's the two of them together. So
wow, that's pretty.
It was fun. It was like, because you're listening.
I missed that show.
You're listening. It was so good, and then it's like, awesome.
See, and
that's great.
That's so great. Like I love to hear that because part of my thing is I like to get a reaction, no matter what, and even if that means I got to get people that'll just turn their heads and go, "What the hell are you doing?" That to me is a win. So
it's a win.
I like that. Yeah.
That's great.
Like I've had a couple of times recently where I'll play a song and then won't get any reaction at all. So I'll just start making stuff up about the song just to see if anybody's listening. So like one night we played The Gambler by request, and then the crowd was completely silent after we'd done it. So I said, so that was a song by Kenny Rogers. That was the first hit he had after being fired from Kiss, because Kiss didn't need 2 fire-breathing bass players. And that was when people like kind of went, what? Like had somebody grabbed their phone and like started Googling it.
Yeah, Googling it. Yeah. Oh, that's
like I think
good.
the bartender who partakes in the funny cigarettes turned around and said, really? It's like, no,
of course,
that's not the case at all.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
but that's good. That's really good.
But it's Trevor Finlay. He must know.
I think it's
yeah,
fun.
Exactly. He wouldn't lie.
He wouldn't lie about something like that. That's music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a true artist. How has your life changed with what you do by moving to Nashville?
Wow, that's a good question. So basically, it changed in certain respects and it didn't in others, because I moved here because I wanted to be around other musicians. Like the Nashville to me was, I didn't realize that there was a place like this left. Like, when I was trying to think about where to go from Ottawa, I mean, if you wanted to, be in the game, you got to go where the game is. So, you either go to Toronto or you go to Vancouver, or here you go to New York or you go to Los Angeles. I thought that was the only options. And then I ended up coming here sort of on as a goof. My manager at the time had a meeting here and said, "You want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay. Let's go check it out." And then I didn't realize that there was live music everywhere. There were so many songwriters. It was just creativity permeates every inch of this place. So when I decided to move, it was a bit of a tough go at the beginning, because basically the only money I could make was from playing music, legally. So I had to basically go all in. And so I learned how to play for other people. Did a lot of traveling. I did a lot of learn how to play different styles of music that I didn't know how to do to begin, when I first got here. So in that respect, it was a big challenge. And personally, the way my life changed is I met my wife here. And then my life settled down substantially in certain respects. So, I've got a great domestic life and I've got a great business life as well.
Cool.
That's great.
Do you find, sorry, Trevor, do you find if Nashville, the musicians that you play with down there, the quality is off the charts? Because I know the guy, I can't remember his name, the gentleman you had playing with you was incredible. Your drummer, but your guitar player was phenomenal. It was just so good.
Yeah, well, the drummer he's one of my favorites that I've played with, and he's a Montreal guy.
Mhm.
And then the bass player, so the drummer's name is Sam Harrison. The bass player was Don Marcotte, and I actually got to know him when he was working for, I want to say, CTV, CJOH, something like that. Anyways, he was actually involved in the Children's Hospital telethons that happened.
Like that.
So I've known
I
him
think that was
since
CGOH.
then. CJOH? Okay.
Yeah.
And then the guitar player is he's incredible. His name is Brian Facchino, and he's like a guitar playing savant.
Mhm.
So it's just watching him play is it's like watching somebody juggle chainsaws. It's like I can see what he's doing, it makes sense, but I can't put the like like a friend of mine once said, like, I own dozens of guitars and none of those notes, like I can't find any of the notes on any of them that he's playing. So.
It's pretty much the best
And
best description I've ever heard of a guitarist. So,
Seriously, yeah.
like a solid guitarist, you know.
Yeah.
He's juggling chainsaws.
Yeah.
Well,
Have you ever caught yourself just kind of going, "Oh shit, I should be playing right now"?
I've been very fortunate in being put into certain situations where I've played with people that are basically heroes, and I've had to. There's this club in town called the Station Inn. It's much wider than it is long, so it's basically like you have to kind of go when you're walking to your spot. You have to kind of get into a ball to try and get past people. And I ended up playing with this guy that played for the Allman Brothers. Like I was singing and he was playing, and I was playing on an acoustic, and I had to actually swing my acoustic neck around my guitar, around the mic stand, so I could just sit there and like kind of crane my neck and try and see what he was doing. So it's it's stuff like that. I end up watching what people are doing quite a bit.
I bet. I mean, it's
pretty incredible.
Yeah, that must be a great experience. I mean, you can't. Well, first of all, you probably love the Allman Brothers when you were younger, and now, and like I was just gonna say, like it's. I would imagine I'd be doing that a lot too if I was, on stage with somebody. I'd be watching more than I'd be playing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you kind of just sit there and to be in that situation too, where like I never actually forgot to play, but I was definitely more interested in what they were doing than what I was doing. So
yeah. And do you find that makes you play better? Like you're playing with better people, that makes you perform better?
That is the best advice you can ever give anybody, is that if you want to get better, play with people that are better than you. And like here, that's a very easy thing to do. You're surrounded by, the best of the best of the best. And because of that too, it keeps people humble, because you can't throw a rock around here without hitting somebody that's potentially better than you. So, it makes people makes people easier to talk to and deal with.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be very grounding for you, because you got that whole strip, right? Like the main strip that you walk down, and there's like bar, live music, live music, live music, live music, big bar, live music. Like it's just like you said, like you can't throw a rock without hearing somebody playing something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's where a lot of those artists are trying to get found too. So makes sense.
Well,
yep.
Yes and no. Like people don't generally get discovered anymore. So it's, there's a lot of, so down there you'll end up getting gigs for bigger artists, but it's all about relationships. It's relationships, and it's all about who you know. So, you get auditions for people, or somebody's sick and they have to, they call other people to fill in or whatever. So
interesting.
Yeah. But
So
as
you
far
always
as
have
getting
to-
discovered, like as far as getting like a record deal or anything like that, I don't think that happens anymore. Not without either a rich family or some money behind you, anyways.
Yeah, unfortunately, cream doesn't always rise to the top.
Well,
On that note, I'll have a sip of my Timmy's.
Here we go.
What's been your biggest career highlight so far?
Oh. That That's really hard to say. I mean, I could turn this into a real name droppy experience.
Please do.
So,
Just kidding.
well, I mean,
speak your way you want to speak. I'm just teasing.
well, I mean, one of the coolest things was, I got to open up for James Brown at the Ottawa Blues Fest a long time ago. Got to shake his hand and he said, "God bless you, man. God bless you." And it's like, so, getting blessed by the Godfather of Soul was pretty cool.
I bet.
I mean, I've been able to, see a lot of the world and have some pretty incredible experiences. I've been to Singapore and Australia and the UK and Europe and quite a few places in the States. But as far as a career highlight goes, the first time I ever heard my song used in it, like a song of mine used in a TV show, was really cool. And other than that, I kind of hope that the best one is still in front of me.
There you go.
So, I've got a bunch of stories, like a bunch of, I guess, a bunch of highlights. And, but yeah, I hope that the biggest one is still coming.
It's a great answer.
Fair enough.
Thanks,
Very
man.
good.
Yeah. It's a roundabout way to say, never mind, guys. I'm not
I
dropping
met
names
James
today.
Brown. That's a
I think
Well, so because I did 8 years, I played 8 years with Tiffany from the 80s. So
That's right.
like when I first moved here, I was like 2010 through, or 2009 through 2017 is when I left. So,
Okay.
and then there was a lot of really interesting experiences with that. A lot of stories.
bet.
Yeah.
You're gonna write a book. Are you gonna write a book?
Probably not.
Come on.
Not until
Come on.
not until a lot of these people have to pass away first, I think.
Fair enough. Yeah.
can't do the tell-all until they're not around.
Just get Chat GPT to do it for you.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot of work. Writing a book is a lot of work. But
Oh, yeah.
like for instance, I found out that she had never seen the movie Ted. And
Really?
her song is featured very prominently in that movie.
Yeah, of course.
So,
yeah.
With the creepy dance by Giovanni Ribisi. So
Sick dance. He's
we
like-
were, yeah.
it's like-
yeah. So we were actually driving between towns, and the Sprinter van we were in had a DVD player. So I brought the movie and then just sat there and watched her the whole time, just waiting for the scene to come up. And so when she saw it, she her exact reaction was to like kind of put her chin back and her eyebrows went up, and then she put a hand sort of like just right just like right where her neck meets the chest, and she goes, "Oh no!" So that was yeah.
Was it worth it to see that reaction?
yeah.
I bet
Oh,
it was.
like I will, yeah, that was so worth it.
And
Because
then
like
Trevor
until then she hadn't seen the movie. She was telling, like, in the press, she told everybody she had.
oh,
It was like, well, because of course I'm going to say that I saw it. It's like, oh no, it's great, fantastic, yeah. Oh, I loved it. It was fantastic. And then so making her see it, it's like,
Oh no.
it's like, do you know how they use it? She said no. It's like, oh well, let's watch it. I think you'd find it amusing.
Good for you.
and
That's awesome.
then Trevor was asked to leave the tour.
Yeah, exactly. No. No.
No, I stuck around.
teasing.
No.
No.
She couldn't
No.
find somebody better than him.
Yeah.
Is there any other instruments that you play that you dabble with?
I play a little bit of ukulele. I play a little bit of banjo. I know where the notes are on a keyboard, but not as professionally as some of my friends. So it's like I know enough that I can do a demo, but I know that whoever I get to play on it is going to be way better than anything I could do. So unless there's like a specific part. Yeah, I'm more of a dabbler.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, because you're a good guitarist, so a good singer. So it makes,
He's in Nashville. I'm sure he could find a keyboard player with like you said, throw a rock and hit one.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, that must be cool too, though. Like living there. I mean, going back to that, I mean, that's sort of the plus of being an artist there. Say somebody can't show up, you can find somebody that would fill in nicely and being
Yeah.
in that atmosphere, I would suspect.
Yeah. I mean, it's I've got a list of my favorites, and then everybody is like literally a phone call away. So I just have to call one person, and then they'll supply me with another 5 names of people that I've never met that they recommend, and I can go through that list. And and if they don't know somebody, then somebody else will know somebody. Yeah, it's great in that sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would imagine so.
So, singer, songwriter. Do you produce your own stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
So I've tried just giving the producer all the entire control of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I much prefer to like a bunch of guys getting into the same room at a studio and doing it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
The one that stuck out when I was reading stuff, audiobook narrator.
Okay.
How did that come about?
So my dad is an author.
Okay.
And he got his start writing nonfiction, and then he decided to try fiction, and then decided he wanted to do an audiobook. And my dad is very pragmatic, so he made me audition, and also got 14 other auditions, and so I ended up getting the gig, and I used that experience as my learning experience. Like, that was such a hump to get over. Like, there was a lot of stuff I had to learn how to do. So, like, there were lines that would repeat. I think I left a cuss word or two
Oops.
in there by accident. But, and my dad would listen to everything I did and follow along with the book at the same time to make sure that it was right. And from there, I posted a couple of things on another website that was, people like authors looking for audiobook narrators, and ended up getting 3 more from that. So
Cool.
I haven't, and then I'm dabbling a little bit in voiceover, but yeah, it's always a process.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like
it's
I
also
said too,
just
it's always about trying to learn how to do new stuff.
yeah, constantly learning, eh?
Yeah, well,
Just go right back up to the quote we started the show with. If
That's
you're
right.
not creating, you're waiting.
Yes.
Well, and I
Well,
love new
I mean,
challenges. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I mean, I get that from you. Obviously, it's. It seems like you like to test yourself, which is probably why you are successful, right?
thank you.
What are you working on musically right now?
Right now, I'm going through some live performances that I've done recently, and I'm going to see if I can maybe throw some of that up on the streaming services. My end goal is I would love to have a live record that I could, and on vinyl. So that's sort of the next big project. Yeah. Other than that, I'm still writing, and I'm, learning how to be better at engineering my own stuff in my home studio. I don't think I'll ever, I don't have a need to put anything out that I just do myself here, because I'm still enough of a dinosaur that I still want to play with a live drummer and a live bass player and a live keyboard player. But it's amazing some of these applications that you have access to now. Like I've got, like I just got this thing, and it's, it's got almost every amplifier. I've got access to almost every amplifier sound under the sun on this thing, and it's like a box. Technology is crazy.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm talking to you right now from a completely different part of the world, and there's not much of a lag, I don't think.
No.
No, not too bad at all. Yeah, that's the part that we like about it. But
Yeah.
like you said, you want to be old school about it. You want to get into the studio with your guys and record there instead of doing it all at home.
Well, there's an energy, there's an
Yeah.
energy when you have people together. And that's, yeah, I mean, that's my preference anyways, like, because it's, you get sparks out of friction. And I think you get friction from, people being together at, in the same place. And that's sort of what, yeah, that's what I like. And I also like the concept of a live album, because something that I've been, shouting from the rooftops ever since autotune started rearing its ugly head in popular music, is like, I have a hard time listening to music that's coming out these days, because it's perfect and perfect. Can I cuss here?
Sure.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay, good. So perfect music bores the shit out of me. And it just I can't get into it. I can't find, that thing. So, and most of the music I listen to is imperfect as well. So I like stuff that isn't afraid to show its warts. And I think the next logical step for me, for waving that flag, is to do a live record where there's nowhere to hide. It's like, this is as good as we can do it on the night we did it, in front of all the people that were there. And I think that's a cool thing.
Well, yeah, because when you make mistakes, you make mistakes. There's no correcting them when you're live.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing too. But also, I heard a great story from Steve Tyler, was talking about, Sweet Emotion and how it's on the album, and he breaks an instrument and they leave it in, and then they forgot their maracas, so he was using a sugar pack and just turned the mic way up.
Yeah.
And they left it all in, and it was like, that's amazing, because like you said, music is artistry. So there's going to be, some, human mistakes or human error, but it's just like, it's beautiful because it's from the heart and they're doing the right thing, and then they figure it out while they're doing it, as opposed to having this perfection all the time, which in the end, like you said, I don't really go to new music, because there's new artists that I do enjoy, but it's like, some of it is just, like you said, there's just there's no edge, there's no griminess to it, I think, is what I think, so.
Well, I mean, it's still out there. It's just, it's not as it's a little bit harder to find, because it's not as in the forefront as a lot of the perfect stuff is. Like I just went and saw the Sheepdogs, and good Canadian band, and those guys are definitely waving the live Canadian Southern rock flag, and they're fantastic.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we saw them here last year.
Yep. Last year at the NAC, they were incredible.
I love the Sheepdogs.
Yeah.
I've loved them since they started.
Yeah.
Did-
Well, yeah, and like a buddy of mine, Ricky Paquette, just joined them.
Mm-hmm.
So
He just joined them. He's incredible. My God.
Yeah, he was guitar when we were there.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. He was playing with them.
yeah,
But,
I think the gig was still fresh at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So.
did fine.
Oh, he did.
Oh, yeah.
He's a very talented guy. So.
Yeah, he's and I've known him since he was, I think he said 14.
Is he in Hull?
Maybe-
he was from
maybe
Hull or
12.
something, right?
Yeah, from the
Or
from the
Gatineau,
Quebec
yeah.
side. Yeah. Gatineau.
Yeah, but like I'd play at Tucson's, and he'd come out, just a
Tucson's.
kid. Yeah, just a kid, just a
classic.
wee lad, and he'd
Wee
get up and
lad.
just get up and make everybody on stage think that they've been wasting their lives up until that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well,
Him and
really
him-
good nachos at Tucson.
him and Steve
Oh, yeah.
Mariner. It's another
Yeah,
one that's
That's another one. Yeah.
that's kind of like, oh, okay, great. I've been practicing my whole life, and this kid comes up here and does it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
But,
actually, was it Anders Drura is another one. He's the new bass player for Big Sugar,
Okay.
but he's also from the Ottawa area, and again, just another one of the somebody I became aware of when I was doing blues in schools way back when for the Blues Fest.
Yeah.
So and now he's living in Texas, and he's married and has a kid and plays with Big Sugar.
Nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I have to ask, so as an Ottawa artist who's kind of gotten out of the area, How do you find the music scene here as far as these young artists that are coming up? And have you been following it a little bit? And, you know, there's quite a bit out there. Obviously, we've interviewed a lot of them, but it's more interesting to hear from you because you started here and then you moved on. But do you think that there's still like a better pulse here than there was before? Or what do you think?
I don't know for sure. I know that there's an awful lot of opportunities there for local bands. And I know that a lot of places like the Blues Fest go out of their way to support the local acts, which is great. I mean, it's just like anything. It's difficult to get into, but yeah, with a little bit of determination, you just stick with it. There's you kind of keep going and hopefully get to where you want to be. So yeah, I don't know for sure what the scene is like now. Yeah, I know that there's places that have closed, but there's also been places that have opened. Like I saw the podcast that you guys did with Hummingbird Hall, and so great, another venue for musicians to play at. And the Rainbow's still going strong from what I know, and so yeah,
Stronger than ever, actually. Strong because they got new ownership and put some money into it.
well, it was a nice system that they had.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what everybody
nice.
says, actually.
Nice. Yeah, it's it's all new.
Yeah,
It is.
and it still has that grimy feel in there. I like that. You know, it's still got that.
Yeah.
You know, like that feeling of the Rainbow. You know, and I
Have you
really
ever been to the
appreciate
green
that.
room or the dressing
Yes.
room?
Yeah. It's grimy as it
That's
goes there. It's not just grimy. It's grimy.
Well, they changed the important, like they fixed up the important stuff, like the sound system, and I mean that's important there.
Yeah, I'm always interested to hear what people think of the Ottawa scene, and obviously being someone who grew up on it. I mean, I miss Tucson's actually. I used to love going to Tucson's.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
blues
Tucson's
there
is
all the
great.
time.
I think we have a pretty solid blues foundation here in Ottawa. And we've got some.
It's always has been.
Yeah, we've got some really good bands that
It's really cold here.
are kicking around.
If blues comes with the cold, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it certainly helps. I mean, there's been many comments about how many great players come out of Canada. It's like, well, it gets cold. What else are you going to do but practice?
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. Good point.
Huh?
You've had a good career so far, obviously, but like, where do you see yourself musically in 5 years?
That's another good question. Basically, I would have to say I'm just going to I'm going to keep writing music and keep trying to put it out there. 5 years from now. Wow. Honestly, I just want to be busier. I want to continue to tour and travel and see places and meet people and get to play music. A little bit more financial stability would be nice.
Hear that?
Yeah. I had a couple of songs on TV shows, and now it's that's another new dragon I'm chasing. So hopefully I can make that happen again. And I'm just gonna keep my head down and keep pushing forward. Or another way I like to say it is I'm standing in front of a giant glacier with an ice pick, so I'm just gonna keep
Chipping away, baby.
away. And hopefully every once in a while a big chunk will fall out.
Yeah.
Metaphors are phenomenal on this so far.
Yep. So far, so good. Yeah. Yeah. Very intellectual show we're having today.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't get to talk to too many people, so I'm
Oh,
enjoying
this
this.
is great.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Let's get all zen and whatever.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Remember that brownie my buddy had over there? He's
Yeah.
kicking in, man.
Mine's not.
Yeah.
I haven't got intellectual at all. Now, Trevor, is there a band that you would love to get a call from? Say, hey, Trev, come tour with us. Is there anybody in particular you'd love to get that call from?
I'm open to any and all, to be honest. So it's because every opportunity is going to be an interesting challenge. So I'm open to anything.
cool. When you were younger, like early on, who was on your record player all the time?
Let's see. Actually, my tastes changed when I first heard Hendrix, and then I discovered the Allman Brothers, and then I heard about Santana, and then I got really into that stuff, and then got into blues music, because again, like, it was all about, I wanted to find out why these guys played the way that they did, not how. Like, how is almost beside the point. I'm more interested in why, because the why sort of dictated how they got there. And then so like I spent a lot of my formative years in the like the blues space. So, okay, do you guys remember Shea 106 had a late night blues show, and it was hosted by Brian, I can't remember his last name.
I think I remember that, driving home, listening to that.
But late night is in what time?
Like 10, probably.
Is it 10
maybe
or
9.
11 or something like that?
Yeah.
And
I know, I remember that, yeah.
I can't remember the guy's last name. Shoot. But I used to like I'd have to go to bed to get because it was a school night. So, and I'd always have my radio sort of playing really quietly so that my parents didn't hear that I was listening to the radio. And I'd always fall asleep to that show. And I mean, my dad brought home a cassette that had Sonny Boy Williamson and Brownie McGee on one side, and then the Howlin' Wolf London sessions on the other side. And I wore that thing out.
Keep chatting.
So,
Brian Murphy.
Brian Murphy. Thank you. Yes.
We've got the Google checker here.
That's been bugging me like crazy for.
Yeah.
for
I guess
days.
they put on a Christmas show. He does an annual Christmas show on Shea 106.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so
think
it's
he
blues.
He passed away a few years back, but
Yeah, but he continued on even after, right up till he died, to do an annual Christmas show. So like, but it'd be blues, like it'd be all blues, right? So
yeah,
that was cool. Yeah, that was. What do you think? Like, obviously, music's like being streamed, and Sirius XM and all those, like, these small stations. I mean, Shea's still running here, but they seem to play all the same stuff all the time. Right. Is there more of an appetite for local radio where you are, or do you find that it's kind of taken aback by all the new ways of listening?
I think, I think there's definitely a lot more choice. I mean, I listen to Sirius more than I listen to terrestrial. I guess if it's, I think that's right.
Works for me.
Yeah. So, and as far as streaming goes, I mean, I have a Spotify account. I don't pay for it because I don't make any money from them, so they shouldn't make any money from me.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you guys get nothing. You get pennies on less than a penny on every stream.
You have to have like 1,000 listeners a month in order for them to pay you, even consider paying you or something.
Really, you don't get, even if your music's out there and there's less than 1,000 listeners, you don't get paid?
Now they decided to cut that off, which is why they are also raking in extra profit this year. Like, basically, it's just it's theft is what it is.
It is. I mean, it is. Remember even the Napster days. Remember there was the big, you can't do this, and then now there's a guy that doesn't even play an instrument that's making $1 billion a year because of Spotify.
Right. Are they? Yeah. And there's also AI artists that are doing the same thing. I actually read an article not too long ago about a guy that managed to siphon a few $1 million out of Spotify with just by having several AI like fake artists up on Spotify.
Wow.
So yeah, like however they did it, it was he was smart until he got caught, I guess.
True. Yeah. Although it'd be cool if he was an artist that decided that I'm going against the Could be a movie, actually.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure
maybe
there's
for
going to
you.
be one coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. But again, I guess they caught them and then fucked them over because they're a huge conglomerate now, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah.
it's,
But
Spotify. I mean, the music business has never been set up for the independents to win. But one of the good things now is that there are a lot of ways to get your music out there too. Just like, before it was just radio, or it was just, CD purchases or whatever. Now you can stream, you can, there's all kinds of apps that you can put your music on and put visuals behind, and then hopefully that'll catch people's attention, which will draw them to the other place. Yeah. I have no choice but to remain forever optimistic.
yeah, exactly. Fortunately. But pressing a vinyl would be probably something on your, like you said earlier, that'd be something we'd be interested for sure. I mean, we still collect vinyl, and
Yeah.
it's kind of had a resurgence, obviously. So it's nice.
I did vinyl for my last full length album. So
I have it.
Yeah, you got it, eh, Doc?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to have, like I said, I'd love to have a live record, or maybe even a double record. I don't know. But
Yes.
yeah, it's just because I think it's great. Like, I started recording at cassettes. Like, that was the medium that was big at the time that I started. And then it went cassettes to CDs to MP3 to now it's streaming and all this other stuff. So the fact it's coming back to vinyl, it's great, because now I feel like this is where I should have started way back when. So
Mhm.
I've always wanted
You've
to
done
have my records of my own. So it's a cool thing.
for sure. You've done them all now.
Well, except for 8-tracks. Never got around to that.
Yeah.
Could come back.
No. There's no reason for 8-tracks ever to come back. They were terrible.
Inefficient.
Oh yeah, my God! Like, you get halfway through a song and it's got to change to the next thing there, because there's four channels, whatever. You're in the middle of a song, it's like, and you get back to the song, it's like, it was horrible.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it was so bad. But I mean, it was what it was at the time.
Did your
right?
dad have an 8-track player in the car?
My uncle did.
Yeah.
My uncle was the one who got me into music. He used to create his own. He had an 8-track recorder, and he'd make his own mixed 8 tracks.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep, sure was.
Wow.
But I was really like, after the show in Ottawa, I went up and I chatted with you, and it was so cool to get the album. It's like, and it was like you said something that was just kind of like, yeah, I'm not making any money off of this, but I love having it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, we talk to a lot of artists, and they're just like, we just can't afford it. And it's like, I get that, but it's so cool to have that. Look what I made. Look what I've done. And then you have it for, and you pass it down to your children
Or other people's children.
Is that a hint? When I die, you want my record collection?
Yes.
Of course you do.
I'm your child now.
Yes.
You didn't know
Well,
that?
it won't go to my brothers, so it's all yours.
Oh, sweet. They can have the CDs. I
only have about
You only have thousands of different types of music, bro.
Yeah.
You should see this guy's apartment. It's as big as this room.
Yeah.
And it's like, he has a bed and music and like a little kitchenette that he cooks his meals in, but he's got music everywhere. It's awesome, actually. It's like a little.
Yeah, I respect the hell out of that. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's down, like, he's right, and he's in the mix. He's down in the Elgin Street. He's like, he's got it all down there. But
Awesome.
so Trevor, we ask everybody the same question at the end of every show ish.
Okay.
Do you prefer the decade of music in the 80s or the decade of music in the 90s?
Oh.
Because 60s and 70s, everybody's agrees. It's awesome. But those two sometimes can have a bit of a rivalry.
Well, I my stock answer to whenever somebody asks me about my favorite anything is that I don't have a favorite anything. Now, I will say that the 80s were really good to me recently. Relatively recently.
Like 40 years ago.
Actually, more like 5.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. I was playing with an 80s person, so that was fun. I think for my own personal yeah, if I'm going for if I'm doing anything like exercise wise, I will probably lean more towards the 80s, just because that was that was the music of my time, is the hair metal. So there's still something about Kickstart My Heart that makes me drive faster than I should, you know. So it's yeah. Like my first concert ever was Whitesnake and Motley Crue.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad took me and a few of my friends.
That would have been cool.
Was that here in Ottawa?
It was at the Civic Center.
Ah, the Civic Center.
And
That was the big venue then, eh?
Well, that and Lansdowne Park for the X. Remember the X when they used to have all the shows?
sure do.
Yeah,
I saw
my first one there.
Delbert McClinton, April Wine, and Leonard Skinner at the X.
I saw April Wine there. It was my first show.
What's your favorite band?
It is my favorite band.
Makes sense.
April Wine's your favorite band?
It is.
Oh, nice. Have you talked to Mark Perrin yet?
No.
No?
I'm I know of him, and I've met Jerry Mercer. He used to live in the building where my aunt and uncle used to live. It's a great story, but I sat and talked with him for 45 minutes. It was very surreal because he's like the April Wine. The April Wine that I liked was him and Brian Greenway and well, of course Miles Goodwin, Steve Lang, and Gary, the other one, and Steve Lang. And that's the one that I remember the most because that was the bigger albums. Like their older stuff is amazing too, but yeah. So meeting Jerry Mercer was a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
And then when Miles died, I'm like, yeah, I can't honestly go see a show because it's not to me. It's not April Wine anymore.
There's only one left, isn't there?
Well, Brian Greenway, Jerry Mercer's still alive, but he's in his 80s, so he doesn't play as much.
Yeah.
But
Brian Greenway still tours with the band.
There's something about the people that go out and still try to, they're still waving the flag and trying to keep the name, going. And I think that's a really cool thing.
Yes, it is. And I have to get my mind around, accepting that.
Are you hard-headed at all, Dawg?
Not at all.
Oh my God.
There for a while there was like a couple of different rat incarnations.
Yes. Yeah.
Like there was the Rat Pack, and then another one that was making the rounds was the Bobby Blotzer Rat Experience.
Oh man, everybody just trying to make a buck.
Well, we have a good friend that was on the show who's a huge Rat fan. He's the biggest Rat fan I've ever seen. It's
awesome.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how he'd feel about all that.
Jay?
Yeah.
Jay.
But yeah, I don't know. Like when you hear the bands now, because they're aging and guys are dying, unfortunately, and you hear so and so is coming to town, and I'm like to myself, I'm thinking, and how many original members are left, or is it just the name?
Right.
So I don't know.
Well, I went and saw. So I've actually seen Def Leppard 3 times now, which surprises me for some reason, but they've actually become one of my favorite bands to go and see. So I saw them open up for Kiss, and Kiss fans will be mad at this, but Def Leppard blew them off the stage. They didn't need all the fire and brimstone and flying through the arena. Then they just got up there, 5 guys playing music, and it was hit, and it was just like you knew every song that they played. It was fantastic. And then I saw them open up for Motley Crue, and again blew Motley Crue off the stage. And then this last tour, I guess it was just this past summer, it was Steve Miller, Journey, and Def Leppard closed the show. And again, Def Leppard was just phenomenal. So, and those guys, aging or not, those guys are still, maintaining and are fantastic. Same thing with, Steve Miller's still amazing. Like he's just there because he wants to be there, which is perfect. Any better reason to play music than to actually enjoy playing music? That's amazing. And then who's the other? Oh yeah, Iron Maiden is another great live band too. They might be getting up there.
Yeah, but all those bands kept their core together, right? It's like Def Leppard. One of the guitarist players died, so they switched it out. But he's been with the band for so long that it's not even you don't miss him, but you do miss him. But so I mean, it happens with most bands. There's going to be interchanging, like guys leave, guys come in.
See,
Except
that's
for
one
the
of the
tragic
benefits
hip,
of being
never
a
gonna
solo
happen.
guy.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's the reason. The only reason I went solo is because I knew I wasn't going to break up.
There you go.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, most of my career has been like, screw it, I'll do it myself, and that's that. Pretty, if I was to have one phrase that pretty much encapsulates my entire career, it's that. It's like, okay, well, let's see. No record deal. Okay, screw it, I'll do it myself. No management. Okay, screw it, I'll do it myself. Or even beginning, nobody wanted to sing, so I just went, okay, I'll do it. So that was just
That's cool.
from my very first band.
There you
So,
go.
yeah.
That's amazing. Trevor, thank you so much for your time today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We had a great
That was,
time.
yeah,
and,
it was very
yeah.
good. Lots of fun.
oh yeah.
Well,
Some
I enjoy a
good
good
stories.
conversation, so I really appreciate that.
Have a cup of coffee and
And a cup of coffee. Have a
the
cup of
shoot
Timmy's.
the proverbial.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you don't mind just staying with us for a couple minutes at the end, and let you go.
Sure.
Dawg and Gus, Dawg and Gus, Dawg and Gus.